Well, hey guys, this is Spiffy Guy, and I'm back with a garden update for July 2014. And we're in a bit of a cool front right now, so it's only going to be 85 today. We've had temps up into the high 90s with heat index into the hundreds, and we've been fluctuating back and forth. And unfortunately, hot weather doesn't do well for greens and lettuce and things like that. So let's take a look at the garden barrel real quick. You can see that I got a lot of things bolting. This is my butter crunch lettuce, and I let it go bolt out there just to kind of see. We'll get some seeds, I think, from it. And you can see that we got a lot of other lettuce that is just not doing well. You know, this is bolting out. The endive is kind of dying here. This red Reuben though seems to be doing okay. Some of these leaves aren't too bad. And the Siberian kale, which is this stuff right here, is actually doing fairly well. This stuff is pretty decent. It seems to be doing well. I've got it growing out of some of the pockets as well. I don't think it likes to grow out of the pockets as much as it does up top. It can't seem to really kind of get that large rootstock. It's kind of getting bent, but it seems to be working for what I need. And but everything else is pretty much bolting as far as the lettuce. You can see here, this is spinach. This is an earlier growth, and you can see that it's just bolting straight out. But that's okay, because I don't really have a whole lot of spinach seed. And so this plant right here, this is a dead spinach plant, and this is a female plant. You can tell by the amount of seeds here. Now this plant right here, this is a male plant, and it has smaller, tighter little balls on it, and some of them are yellow. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. And so that's a way to tell. So what I'm going to do with this, I have a couple of these already downstairs in my basement, but I'll take this and I'll hang it upside down and let it dry out nice and good, and then I'll take these seeds off, and we'll see if we can get a second planting of spinach once it cools off here in about 4 or 5 weeks. So let's take a look at the actual garden. Right. All right, so this is the garden. It seems to be doing okay. The corn is going crazy off the hook. I don't know if I'm going to do corn again next year or not. It seems to take up a lot of space for what you get out of it. Supposedly when the tassels turn brown, you can harvest the corn. So in theory, this and those two are ready. That's the Cherokee long back there. So, but the pole beans, which I'll bring you into the jungle, the pole beans came up, but their leaves are really yellow, and they don't seem to be doing a whole lot. I just noticed that there is a few flowers right here. That's something new today that I noticed. But you know, I don't know. Pole beans may be better served in a little cooler weather and in a different spot. So the tomatoes though are doing well. We're getting lots of tomatoes. These sugar sweets, which are right here, these are doing excellent. And we've got a lot of the Juliets too, which you can see down in there. Bring it down this way. There's some Juliets right there, and a big globe up there. And the Romas over here behind the fence are starting to come in a little bit better now. We've got a lot of Roma fruit, they just haven't ripened up yet. So we'll see. It looks like there might be a little bit of blossom rot. Is that what blossom rot looks like? I don't know. But they seem to be doing okay. The cucumbers themselves have kind of stopped producing. We had a real heavy windstorm, and all the cucumbers that were up top on the trellis here, they all kind of blew over and broke and kind of fell down, you can see. And I kind of thought it was the end of it, but they seem to be flowering, and I've got bees, you know, buzzing the flowers. And oh wait, look, there's one more cucumber. Other than that, we're completely empty. But we did get 7 quarts of cucumbers, and my wife bravely pickled them in her first attempt at pickling, and she did 7 quarts of pickles. So very proud of her, very cool for that. The weather is just too hot for these beans, or these peas right here. These were the Oregon sugar snap peas. We have one little plant here that's trying to produce some, but not really doing much of anything. And the peppers, though, we're doing okay. I've got some of these purple jalapeno peppers. They're very small, and I think next year I'll do the mammoth peppers again. And I got some ideas for making changes. The pasilla pepper back here, we've gotten one, and that came from seed from the store, so I guess I got my money's worth. And we've got a few of the black beauties as far as the sweet peppers are concerned. And hiding back here in the dwarf plant is the one red beauty, and it seems to be producing a nice large fruit, so hopefully that will come out. But other than that, the onions, I guess are doing okay. I haven't dug them up yet, and the carrots should be getting close to being ready to harvest. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the results that I got so far. I think I'll be able to harvest more tomatoes for sure, and the corn and stuff like that as the year progresses. But I definitely have learned a lot from doing it this year. And I think that I'm going to make some changes. I got some plans in the future, so stick around. We're gonna try to get the cucumbers out of the garden next year, and because they just took so much space, and they kind of came into the squares. And we're going to redo some fencing, so stay tuned for those videos. So over here in the container garden, the potatoes are off the hook. I added dirt and rolled up the bags, and so now they're pretty much as high as they can go. So the plants themselves are just going nuts. So hopefully we'll get some tubers. This particular tomato plant right here has just gotten huge. I ended up having to tape some of these stakes together, and I'm trying to keep it together. It's got a lot of fruit on it, though. You can see a lot of fruit. And this is the Sun Sugars. This was from a one store-bought cherry tomato, and we have just blossoms everywhere. And I'm definitely going to try to save some seeds from this and grow these next year, because that's a lot of fruit on there, and it's all kind of coming in at once, which is kind of cool. And it looks like had I planted this in a little bit better container, and it may have gotten fairly large. I single stemmed it for a while, and then I just kind of gave up because I didn't want it to get too tall. The corn over here, during that big windstorm, our bucket took a tumble and broke, which is fine, really. I put a piece of duct tape on it, but it didn't stay. And but it's got, a couple cobs on there. This one I doubt will get any bigger. This one might be salvageable. Once again, I don't think I'm going to be doing corn next year. It just takes up a lot of space for the amount of yield that you get. The endive down here in the lizard garden and the basil has done well in the patio picker. I really didn't utilize this patio picker the way that I should have this year, and we'll definitely make some changes for next year for sure. And the chives and the green onions are doing their thing. I had something come dig in the chive bucket. I'm thinking it's a squirrel. It hasn't disrupted the chives yet, so hopefully they will stick around and be perennial next year. We can grow in. This is Jerusalem artichoke, and it's doing well. I'm very curious to see at the end of the year. We'll take that entire container and dump it out onto a tarp and see what kind of tuber action we have. Those would be pretty tasty. And this one little plant of some sort of melon, cantaloupe type melon, I have a lot of, I'm just letting it do its thing. I got a lot of blossoms here. It's growing all over the place. It's grabbing hold of everybody. And that was just one plant. So next year I have plans to possibly grow that vertical and see if we can't get a little bit more melons. So anyway, that's pretty much about it. I'm fairly happy with the results that I got this year. I was really expecting the lettuce and stuff to kind of die out in the middle of the summer, and I could put up a shade cloth barrier around this, and I think it would be too much of a pain to do for the actual garden barrel itself. I don't mind pulling this stuff out and replanting. Now I do have some plans for going forward since I have this fence here, I'm going to put in some small raised beds, one there to start with and possibly another one, and I'll put in a trellis like I did on the garden, and that way I can grow the peas and the beans towards the second half of the growing season, you know, in the late fall, and kind of get some of that stuff that's going to grow vertical out of the garden, and then I can put the PVC pipes and stuff and try to enclose the garden in for winter growing or cool weather growing, which will be cool. And you know, I can grow some more lettuce and stuff into the winter. And if that works out well, then I might try to put some stuff in over here, because a lot of this fence line over here is just not used, and if I can put in some small planters and, you know, grow some stuff, that might be a neat idea. I may do a little rearranging of my composting area, which is doing all right. But we've been doing a lot of work trying to get a lot of grass. I've got a new patio that we had just put in, so I've been working on that quite a bit. And the strawberries here, these are the ones I pulled out of the yard, and they are really just a small berry. It's the alpine strawberry, and the berries themselves weren't that tasty, so I'm not really going to try to propagate these too much. I may stick them out in a couple areas, you know, just try to grow them out. But I'm going to make another garden barrel to kind of put next to this one and do strawberries next year, and I think I'll actually just go and buy some and slowly propagate them into the barrel itself. So that's the garden update for July. You know, not really too much going on. We'll do some harvest videos when we start pulling stuff out, so you guys can kind of see how everything came out. But overall, I don't think I did too bad for the first year, and you know, we learned. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and just remember that, you know, life is an adventure, so go out and have one.